Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 82 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm good.
I'm doing pretty good myself. We got our taxes done today.
We did.
And that is just a huge relief.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always put it off.
You do.
And I don't know why.
I don't understand why either.
Because putting it off just makes you worry about it longer.
Yes.
You know.
There's no logic to it.
I know.
At all.
Yeah.
But it's how you roll.
I know. And every year I tell myself, I'm gonna make an appointment to get them done earlier next year. And then every April, we're doing them a week before the tax deadline.
About that. It doesn't matter how many times I say, hey, Pookie, make the appointment. Make the appointment. Here's what my schedule looks like.
Yeah.
Make the appointment. Nope.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But they're done.
They are.
Hooray, hooray.
Indeed.
Scratch that off of my list of things to worry about. Oh, hey, yesterday was Easter.
It was.
For those of you who celebrate Easter, happy Easter.
Happy Bunny Day.
Happy Passover.
Happy Passover.
Happy Ramadan. That is also happening
all
now.
kinds of things right now. Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you all got to spend some time with your family during any of those holidays. We went to my sister's to celebrate Easter and have some foods and, just foods and family fun time.
That's right. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Can't describe it any better. Foods and family fun time.
I made for the first time a tofurkey ham. Now, Sam's not a huge fan of ham.
I'm not. So I didn't taste it.
Not a ham fan.
No.
It was pretty good.
Cool.
And I think you will like it if I slice it really thinly, like for a sandwich or something.
Yeah, I do think that if we try doing something like a Monte Cristo sandwich or something like that, like with the kind of smoked tofurkey slices, and then if you slice the ham really, really thin, and then kind of make it like a grilled cheesy kind of thing, I might be into that. But generally speaking, I've never liked the flavor of ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember my mom making ham and scalloped potatoes when it was a standard dish in our house, and I never liked it.
Ham was never like one of my favorite things either, but I don't have the dislike that you do.
Yeah, it's a genuine dislike.
Yeah. So anyway, I made that tofurkey ham, which we had never tried before, but I saw it at our local grocery store, and I'm like, oh, hey, I want to support the fact that they have this. They are way too expensive. They're like
really?
$20 for this.
Oh my gosh.
Softball size piece of seitan.
Yeah, that's
basically
a little bit crazy.
But yeah, all the vegan mock meat stuff is overpriced in my opinion, but
well, I think perhaps they just haven't gotten it to the point that they can, charge the equivalent of meat, because I think that is the goal, to get it to a price point where it's available to everybody, where it's just a one-to-one proposition.
Yeah, and I can't see a non-vegan looking at that and going, yeah, I'll pay $20 for a softball-sized piece of seitan.
No, I can't see that either. Definitely not. I'm surprised you paid $20 for a softball-sized piece of seitan.
It was an impulse buy.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good. I mean, and I'd never tried them, so I wanted to give it a go, and I think it was pretty good.
Okay.
And it comes with like a glaze that you put on it. And I also made like a Mediterranean gluten-free penne.
Which was lovely, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, the pasta was fantastic. You always make beautiful pastas.
And of course, we brought a big green salad.
Hey, which was the majority of my meal, because that just makes me happy. Give me a huge plate of raw vegetables and I am a happy camper.
Yeah.
Yep.
My sister made some lovely roasted potatoes.
Oh, the potatoes were good.
They were delicious.
Toss those on top of the salad and I'm an even happier camper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My nephew also made a pasta dish with it was pasta and I think he said arugula and
sunflower seeds.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was very nice. And I liked the pasta that they used. It held up really well.
Yeah, it's a chickpea pasta, but it's not like any chickpea pasta that I've ever had. It much more resembles a regular pasta.
Yeah, it was really good.
And they were like little mini shells. Mm-hmm. They were good.
I as shapes go for pasta, I really like shells.
You like shells?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that we played some board games and had some fun.
Played some board games, played some games on the Switch, played some Jackbox games, which is always a good time.
Yeah, some fibbage.
Fibbage, yep. And that was our Easter Sunday.
It was indeed. Mm-hmm. It was a good day.
It really was.
I have an update on something that we talked about last week a very important update on...
And which update would this be? I know there are a couple coming today.
Yeah, this is the update on Worcestershire sauce.
Yes.
I just have to inform everybody that Sam was correct. It is Worcestershire sauce.
It is Worcestershire sauce.
I've heard people just calling it Worcester sauce. And then, of course, there's the people that are really wrong that call it Worcester. What do they say? Worcester?
Worcester sauce.
Yeah.
Or Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Worcestershire.
Right, because Worcester is a UK place name.
Yeah.
And Worcester is the city. Worcestershire is the county, and that's the name of the sauce.
Yes. So this comes from the Cambridge Dictionary pronunciation website.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let everybody know, here is how you say Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
So there you go. You don't have to say it with a British accent, but you do have to say it so that it's only 3 syllables.
Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to emphasize sauce.
Sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. Yes. Very important.
So I just wanted to let everybody know I am not afraid to say Sam was right.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Not afraid. She's always right. I don't even know why I bother.
Yeah, it really is interesting the number of times we have this argument. I mean, even when she had her appendix out, even the doctor was like, you really should listen to your wife.
Just listen to your wife. Yeah. He said, when I was in the operating room, he said, now what have we learned about this today? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, listen to your wife when she tells you to go to the hospital. Anyway, we digress. Another update that we have on something we talked about last week is an update on Lolita, also called Toki, I believe.
Oh, really?
The orca who has been held in captivity at the Miami Seaquarium for 50 plus years.
Yeah.
And they were saying that she may be released. Now they're saying she will be released.
Nice.
Sometime, released to the wild sometime within the next 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
So I hope this goes well for Lolita because
I do too.
They're going to fly her on a 747 back to the Pacific Northwest where she was snatched as a baby more than 50 years ago and try to reintroduce her. They're flying trainers out and they're going to have an area where they can monitor her to make sure that and help her learn how to hunt and catch fish and feed herself.
Wow.
So, I hope this really works out for her.
Oh, so do I.
I hope that the innate whale knowledge is just still there.
You know, it would not surprise me at all if it was.
Yeah. I mean,
I think there are things that no matter your species, I think there are things that you do not forget.
Yeah, it's hard to say. She's been, hand fed by humans for 50 years. So, right. But yeah, I really hope that works out for Lolita.
Me too. I just love the image of her returning to her pod. I just think that's the greatest thing.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
What else did we have?
Well, in your update section, you also have a mention of the Impossible Nugget recall. So you may or may not have heard, this was released on Friday, March 17th and has been updated as of Friday, March 24th. Retailers have confirmed that the 22 recalled lots of frozen Impossible chicken nuggets produced by OSI Industries, LLC, between October 20th and November 23rd, 2022, have now been fully removed from store shelves, and all available product for purchase was manufactured after the recall dates.
I'll include a link to this article that talks about the different lots that were recalled. And, just check your freezer to make sure you don't have any of the ones that were recalled.
Yes. So just so you know what happened, OSI received reports that small pieces of wood were found in some of the 13.5-ounce retail packages of frozen Impossible chicken nuggets produced by OSI Industries, LLC, between October 20th and November 23rd, 2022. While this issue has affected less than 0.0000005%.
That's a lot of zeros.
It's a lot of zeros.
Very small percentage.
Incredibly small percentage of total packages of this particular product. This is simply unacceptable given that consumers and customers place their trust in us with every purchase of Impossible foods that they make. So I really want to send out some kudos to the company for rectifying the issue and for going further than necessary to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah, this is a really aggressive recall for a very small problem. So that, that's good.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, if you bought any Impossible Chicken nuggets in late 2022 or early 2023, you might want to give that bag a check and check it against the SKU number that was affected.
Thank you, Impossible, for doing that.
Absolutely.
For doing the right thing.
Yes. And I love that the name of the article actually is Doing the Right Thing is Never a Hard Decision.
Yeah.
So go Impossible.
Oh, coming up next.
It's the Our Vegan Kitchen recipe of the week.
This week, I made a recipe that I tested for a week and had a failure, and more research was needed. The recipe I made this week was a falafel recipe.
I love falafel.
Yes.
I do really, really love falafel.
I had originally wanted to make this recipe easier for people by using canned chickpeas. Mm-hmm. It failed.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go so far as to say that it failed. It didn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to.
No, in my opinion, it failed.
In my opinion, it was still a highly edible falafel.
Oh no, it was still tasty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was it the perfect falafel texture that you managed to get on the second run? No.
No.
Definitely not. But It was still really flavorful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
yeah. So after doing some more research, I decided I'm going to just have to get some dried chickpeas. Mm-hmm. So I used the dried chickpeas, soak them overnight. They triple in size. So a cup of dried chickpeas gives you 3 cups of chickpeas.
Right.
After they're soaked overnight. And I'm happy to say that the recipe turned out perfectly.
Oh, gosh. They were some of the most gorgeous falafel I've ever seen.
Yeah. Very, very super herbaceous and crispy on the outside and
just crazy good.
Yeah.
So highly recommend this recipe of Christine's. And we put it, of course, the inspiration came from, I think we were just having a random conversation on Monday morning, and we said something about having falafel on pita, that kind of a thing.
Well, it was actually inspired by the Radical Food sauces.
Oh, well, yes, the ranch sauce. We were like, ooh, wouldn't this be amazing on falafel on pita, and thus falafel?
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come up with a good falafel recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the first failed falafel we did do in a pita. I ended up baking them because they would not hold together enough to be fried.
Right. We air fried them.
Yeah. So I ended up air frying them. And I mean, they turned out okay. The texture just wasn't right. The flavor was okay. The texture wasn't.
No, but it was a little mushy.
Yeah. We still put them into a pita with some veg and that.
And the ranch sauce.
That ranch sauce, that Radical Foods ranch sauce. And it was really good.
Yeah. It's an awesome, almost tzatziki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second iteration, I did manage to fry them, and they're perfect, and they're not greasy at all. They didn't absorb any of the oil, which was perfect. And I also made for Sam something that I've been wanting to make, a lemon dill hummus. To go with them.
Yes, because Ithaca lemon dill hummus is my favorite hummus by far. There's nothing else that touches it for me, and I don't get sick of it. There's no such thing as too much of it.
Right.
And it's really expensive these days.
Yeah, it's stupid expensive.
Yeah. So we decided, you know what? We're not going to buy that anymore. It's just a little too expensive. And so Christine has made a foray into the world of making fresh lemon dill hummus for me, which I sincerely appreciate. And it was really good.
It was really good. I am going to tweak the recipe a little bit before I share that recipe on our Patreon. Mm-hmm. The falafel recipe will be on our Patreon this week.
Great.
If you'd like to get that recipe, just become a patron, join our community there and get that recipe. And I will tell you, there is at least one secret ingredient in the falafel recipe, if not 2.
Do I know the secret ingredient?
I'll tell you later. It's a secret.
Okay, cool. Well, at least I get to know.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was our recipe of the week.
Do I have to join the Patreon to find out?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Do that. No problem.
Let's move on to our noteworthy section. Speaking of falafel.
Yeah, indeed. So this is news. According to the EWG, canned garbanzo beans have been found to have high, even illegal levels of glyphosates. What's up with the chickpeas? So the FDA found extremely high and in some cases illegal levels of cancer-linked glyphosate on chickpeas, lentils, beans, and oats.
Right. So now I've always known oats. You should always purchase your oats organically because oats they're known to have super high glyphosate levels.
Yes.
But this chickpea thing is new. Lentils, I've never heard of. It just says beans, and I don't know what beans they're referring to there.
Right.
But so make sure if you're buying canned chickpeas, they have to be organic.
Yeah.
Because you can't rinse those glyphosates off after they've been sitting in that can.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's just going to permeate them, I would think.
For sure.
You know? I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything. I'm not a food scientist. But
this is true. This is very true.
But I would highly recommend buying all of those things in an organic form if you can.
Yeah.
I can tell you that although I do not like to shop at Walmart, we don't really shop at Walmart. I don't like to support Walmart. I would prefer to support, smaller stores. They do carry
organic
chickpeas
and beans
and lentils if you buy canned lentils, and they're really reasonably priced. So there's that.
So we might have to start doing that.
Yeah. Have anything else to say about chickpeas?
Not really. I'm just kind of bummed.
Yeah, I was bummed too when
I'm just kind of bummed.
I'm on the EWG's mailing list and I got this email and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like nothing is safe anymore.
Right. Seriously.
Our food supply is so
contaminated.
It's so terribly contaminated.
Yes.
It
really is. So yeah, I found that disturbing, especially because you think, you're doing some good for yourself and you're doing some good for the planet and for other sentient beings.
Right.
And then all of a sudden your chickpeas are sitting in cancer-causing glyphosate.
Right.
Glyphosate.
I know. Here you are, like you said, trying to eat healthily, no matter what the reason that you're doing that for. And the food that you're eating could be killing you.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I guess anymore, it's kind of like, well, would you prefer to be shot or hung?
Oh, that's dark.
Yes, I know. And I'm usually not the one who goes dark.
No.
But there is that. It's like no matter what you do, something that you're doing is causing harm to you.
Right.
And so therefore, it's just a matter of how quickly that harm will be done.
Yeah. I mean, it's all damage control. Life is just a series of damage control.
I guess. That's bleak. I might have gone dark, but that's bleak. And honestly, I really think there's more to it than that. But
tune in for more uplifting messages from Compassion and Cucumber. Let's move on to our main topic.
All right. So this week we've got what's new in vegan news.
Yeah, there's a really interesting goat cuddling controversy happening in Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia area. Apparently, there was a farm that was providing goats to not just veg fests, but other festivals and like local activities. And they bring their goats, and it's generally a petting zoo situation is what it sounds like.
2 Pennsylvania vegan festivals canceled goat yoga and cuddling sessions scheduled with Steinmetz Family Farm of Berks County after critics called the practice animal exploitation.
I would probably classify that as animal exploitation because these goats are being shipped around the area for the specific purpose of like human interaction.
Right.
And this farm, I believe, is like charging the events to do this, to bring the goats.
Right.
So to me, that definitely smacks of exploitation.
No, it does, of course. You know, it's a use of the animals that, you know, they're not meant for. At the same time, I have to say, given the right circumstances, I would love to cuddle a goat.
I mean, look, there are certain times when you go to, say, a veg fest or something, or a vegan event, and perhaps a farm sanctuary, a farmed animal sanctuary will bring animals so that people can see the animals that they're caring for.
But we ran into that at the Pittsburgh Veg Fest last year.
It's not generally speaking an event where you are encouraged to interact with the animals. You know what I mean? They're usually just there, and it's like, here's some of the animals that we're caring for. You know, just there to promote awareness about what their mission is. And this is really more blatant. Just these goats are here for human interaction purposes.
So the story is that this farm, Steinmetz family farm of Berks County, they have about 65 baby goats, and they started regularly hosting goat cuddle sessions with a rotating roster last year. And they had 2 of them scheduled for April, the inaugural Bear Creek Mountain Resort Vegan Festival in Lehigh Valley and the Veg Fest in Allentown. But once promoters began advertising the events, things went downhill fast. Animal activists called out the Steinmetz's business model, saying that making money off of petting zoos and similar practices were exploitative towards the animals. Cheryl Petrillo, president of the Animal Defenders chapter of Greater Lehigh Valley, says her group thinks that a vendor at vegan festivals charging money to interact with live animals is hypocritical. She says, "We are ethical vegans, meaning our lifestyle and choices go well beyond what we eat. It is avoiding the consumption of animals used for food, clothing, entertainment, etc. We do not support petting zoos, traveling circuses, and animal exhibits like SeaWorld. If we want to learn about animals or interact with them, we go to and support sanctuaries, not farms or petting zoos."
Exactly. And I think, a little bit of really a lot of the responsibility falls on the veg fests that were willing to hire this farm to bring goats to their festival. That seems like a really bad move on their part, you know? So,
yeah.
And they didn't cancel it until there was this backlash about it. So I'm really surprised that organizers of any vegan festival would even consider bringing these goats in when the goats are specifically hired out for petting zoos and goat yoga and all of these kind of exploitive practices, you know.
There is evidence to suggest that, you know, although the idea of cuddling a goat seems really, really innocent, again, like, I'd like to cuddle a goat.
Well, sure.
I will fully admit that.
Sure.
But it's not hard to believe that the goats would suffer stress from this, being transported, being around lots of people, loud noises, unfamiliar environments, that kind of a thing. So even though, the human is perhaps getting the benefit of a nice cuddle with a goat, because I'm sorry, that sounds awesome, it might not be so great for the goat.
Yeah, I'm imagining it's not really great for the goat. And it seems that the Steinmetz family farm, it's not a sanctuary. So it seems like they breed or buy these goats specifically to exploit them.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So that's the difference. It's not like like Cheryl Petrillo was saying in the article, that if you want to interact, it's not like they're a sanctuary, you know, where they've rescued these animals from a situation. They're actually putting the animals in a situation that, in my opinion, they should be rescued from.
There you go. Yeah.
But like I said before, I think a lot of the responsibility of this whole situation that happened falls on the veg fests that thought that hiring them was a good idea.
I agree. Yeah. Veg fests, you know, and again, I will go back to, on the surface, that sounds like a really great idea, something that people would be into, something that would probably make money for the Veg Fest. Absolutely. But again, not so good for the goats.
No, that's not kosher.
No.
What else do we have in the news? Oh, here's some really good news.
I like good news.
Yeah, famed New York City restaurant Candle Cafe / Candle 79 is reopening.
Yes.
Yeah, they closed, I think, 2 years ago.
I think so.
Shortly after the pandemic. And we have a cookbook from their restaurant.
We sure do.
And we did a recipe. If you look back in our catalog, we did do a recipe out of the Candle Cafe cookbook. So this is really good news. And I'm sure the people of New York City are thrilled.
Oh my gosh.
That the Candle Cafe is opening up again.
Absolutely. And it makes me want to get to New York post haste to check it out.
Yeah. I think they're calling the new iteration Candle.
Yep. Just Candle.
Yeah, just Candle.
Which I think is lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, so the team behind New York City's revered but closed Candle Cafe and Candle 79 have relit the franchise, opening a brand new 52-seat location in Manhattan.
Their healthy but delicious dishes were honed by the Candle chefs for decades and reflect the pinnacle of gourmet vegan cuisine in the decades before the more recent emergence of packaged plant-based meats. Their dishes are decadent yet wholesome and reflective of the mindful eating message written on the outside of the new restaurant. Their primary proteins are tofu and seitan, with a welcome focus on vegetables, beans, and grains.
Yeah, and Candle Cafe and Candle 79, they were New York City staples. They've been around since 1993.
Yep.
So they were one of the very first 100% vegan restaurants in New York City.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to have to head in that direction sometime soon.
Yeah.
And check it out.
Yeah, because we never got a chance to go there. People raved about their food.
Yeah.
So that's some good news
That's
for you.
some fantastic news.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other really good news we have right here is that Yahoo Finance is reporting growth in vegan food markets.
Yeah, vegan food market, global industry size, share, trends, opportunity, and forecast for 2018 to 2028 is all trending up, apparently.
So according to a 2018 study that was published in Elementa, Science of the Anthropocene, the production of food grains is enough to sustain the 9.7 billion that will inhabit the planet by the year 2050. According to the study, livestock consumes approximately 34% of the world's crop yield. Humans only eat less than half of the cereals produced worldwide. The market is witnessing a sudden surge in the number of vegan meals eaten at lunch or dinner, which soared by 46% between 2019 and 2020. Moreover, the facts stated by the Vegan Society say that in 2022, the grocer reported that vegan food sales at Aldi were 500% higher in January of that year than in January 2021.
Yeah, 500%.
That's huge.
Yeah, you would think that Aldi would actually have more plant-based options.
I would bet that Aldi, beyond the Aldi that we see every day, but besides our little Aldi here in Dunkirk, Fredonia, I bet there are a lot more options that we just don't see on the shelves.
Oh, in the UK?
In the UK, in other areas of the United States.
In other bigger markets.
Yes, in larger markets. I'm sure there must be a larger range of items that we just don't see.
Yeah, there are. I see people post and I'm like, oh, we don't get that. Or
Right.
I've never seen that in our Aldis.
Exactly.
But
We
500
consider ourselves fortunate to get the meatballs, the tofu, and then occasionally those really awesome ice cream bars in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for us, we're mostly whole foods
Right.
anyway, so
Right.
it's fun to see those products. And we do like to keep the meatballs on hand because when family comes, everybody loves those.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really affect us that much.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's face it, vegan consumerism is not going to save animals from animal agriculture.
Right.
But it is nice to see that there is a 500% growth in vegan food sales.
Absolutely.
That just means there's more vegans out there, or there's more people at least eating vegan part of the time. Not to tout reducitarianism, because I don't really think that that's. I don't want to say that's a bad thing, but I don't think that it's a means to an end. Reducitarianism.
Well, no, it's if you're talking about ending cruelty to animals, it's not a means to an end.
Yeah.
If you're talking about reducing one's footprint,
Yeah.
it is to a certain extent
Right.
a means to an end. So, I say any step in the right direction is still a step in the right direction. So, even though reducitarianism is not where you or I would go,
Right.
I think it's a fine choice for others who aren't ready to take the leap full on into vegetarianism or veganism.
Yeah. So is this good news? Yes, I guess it's good news for vegan consumerism and vegan entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you, Yahoo Finance, for a little bit of good news.
Indeed.
Some other good. This is like just good news. This is a good news episode.
Is it?
Yeah, in that same vein, VegNews announced the 12 best new vegan products for 2023.
Well, who doesn't want to know that? All right. So let's see what those 12 products are. All right. Let's see. The first we have is AI-powered vegan cheese.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. But,
Artificial intelligence is making vegan cheese now.
Apparently. So California-based deep tech startup Climax Food, which was headed up by former SpaceX scientist Oliver Zahn, is recreating one of the most desired animal foods using plants, starting with 4 creamy vegan cheeses. The brie and blue cheeses were ready for sampling at Expo West, and the tangy, deeply rich, and creamy textures and flavors blew our editors away. To best approximate dairy cheeses, Climax relies on its AI tech frameworks to identify the ideal building blocks for making vegan cheese using the world's 300,000 known edible plants. So yes, AI is making your cheese.
Yeah, and there's a picture of this vegan brie, and it looks like brie.
It really does. It looks fantastic.
That's really interesting that they're using AI tech to make vegan cheese. I think if you posted just this little blurb somewhere, like on Twitter or something, it would really bring out all the paranoid people that think that Bill Gates is like taking over our food system.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Don't try it.
No, I'm not going to.
Please don't try
but
it.
I'm saying if you really want to debate some people, this would be a good one.
There you go.
Next on their list, number 2 on their list of most exciting foods coming out on the vegan market in 2023 is the Wonder Eggs hard-boiled vegan eggs. Now, I saw just recently Chris Cooney, the vegan zombie, was at the food expo in Los Angeles, and he actually went to the Wonder Eggs booth and tried them and said they were, I mean, he's been vegan for a long, long time, so he says he can't even really remember what a real egg tastes like.
Sure.
But texturally and flavor-wise, he said it was kind of spot on.
Awesome.
Now, these are like a hard-boiled egg.
Right. And this is not something that I would ever try.
Yeah, you didn't like hard-boiled eggs
I've
before.
never liked hard-boiled eggs. I don't like the look of them, the smell of them, the taste. I don't want to go anywhere near it, but
I would try this.
Yes, you would. Yes, Christine does like a good hard-boiled egg.
It would be, I used to like a hard-boiled egg like on a salad or something. So yeah, Texas-based woman-owned plant-based brand Crafty Counter has cracked the code on vegan hard-boiled eggs. The brand's ready-to-eat eggs are made from cashews, almonds, coconut milk, and agar, which is a seaweed-based gelatin substitute, and colored and flavored with turmeric and nutritional yeast to achieve that classic eggy look and texture. And they really do look like real eggs.
They do. They really do. If hard-boiled eggs aren't your cup of tea, though, if you're looking for something a little sweeter, you can go with product number 3, which is Dandy's Marshmallow Cream. So Chicago Vegan Foods plans to launch gelatin-free vegan marshmallow cream under its Dandy's brand later this year. So we do have some Dandy's marshmallows hanging out in the cupboard. I think they're peppermint flavored.
Yeah, for cocoa.
To put in cocoa around Christmas time. But Dandy's new vegan marshmallow fluff is free from the top 8 allergens, including soy, and is made with certified vegan sugar. Unlike other puffy marshmallow products under the Dandy's brand, the newest edition is also carrageenan-free and represents the first offshoot from its core line of solid vegan marshmallows.
Yeah, so if you were a fan of fluff, marshmallow fluff, I think fluff was the actual brand name.
Yeah.
We used to get that when we were kids, and we would make fluffernutters sandwiches.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with a fluffernutter sandwich, what it is basically peanut butter, marshmallow fluff, and then you cook it like you would a toasted cheese.
I have never had a fluffernutter.
It's delicious because what happens then, the marshmallow gets kind of melty and it melts in with the peanut butter. And yeah, there's nothing healthy about it whatsoever.
Of course not.
It's, butter coated bread filled with marshmallow fluff and peanut butter.
Right.
But they're delicious.
All right, then.
Yeah.
I will take your word for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that would agree with me. The wrong kind of sweet. You
Right.
know how I am about the wrong kind of sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, fluff fans will be eager to get their hands on that.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know what else? Elmhurst. You know the Elmhurst milks?
Yes, I love Elmhurst hazelnut milk.
Yeah.
And I can't find it anywhere anymore.
They have a new one. It's an oat and cashew vanilla lavender milk.
Really?
Yeah. Craving a trendy dairy-free lavender latte like all the Gen Zers on TikTok? Well, Elmhurst, a popular dairy-free milk brand, has now made it easier than ever. Made from a base of oat and cashews, the new seasonal vanilla lavender milk has no added gums or oils and is made from just 6 simple ingredients. Needless to say, after one sip of this new flavor in an iced latte, they were sold. This doesn't entice me at all.
No, it doesn't appeal to me either.
Yeah.
Lavender has never been a flavor that I really enjoyed. I know I've had some lavender lemonade.
The one that Jessamine made.
The one that Jessamine made. That was really good.
That was delicious. The thing is, with the lavender, if it's the right amount, it can be really
great,
exquisite.
But if it's even a tiny bit too much, it overpowers. It tastes soapy. I'm not a fan. But so this would definitely not tempt me. Now, if Elmhurst wanted to come up with a version of this that was a turmeric ginger kind of a thing.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like a golden milk latte.
Yeah.
And I'm craving one of those right now. I'm going to have to make one after we're done doing this. Then I'd be in.
Yeah.
And seriously, if I could just find their hazelnut milk somewhere, again, that would be great.
I would try this, but I wouldn't seek it out.
Right. If you came across it, you might give it a try,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't go looking for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I saw it and it was like on sale, half off or something like that, I would be like, oh, well, I can try that because it probably would make a really interesting tasting latte.
Gotcha. So next we have Jinka calamari. Now, on first look, I was not thinking that Jinka calamari would be something I would be interested in, but this is tempura battered, fish-free calamari bites. And I did, pre-veganism, love calamari.
Yeah, a good fried calamari, like at a bar, you can get like fried calamari or whatever. I also like the taste of fried calamari, but I'm allergic to seafood.
Well, right. And so this would be a
rather.
good option for you because guess what? No fish. According to Jinka, this frozen product offers a similar taste and texture to its appetizer-ready meaty counterpart, along with a healthy dose of plant-based protein and omega-3 fatty acids. We highly recommend and this is VegNews recommending, not us necessarily.
Correct.
Because we have not tried this yet, but
Can't recommend it.
Nope. Dipping them into some cocktail sauce or spicy marinara.
Now, it looks like in the picture, and we will link to this article in the show notes if you want to see these pictures, the other product is a crab popper.
Yes.
Fishless crab popper.
So probably like, a little baby crab cake kind of a thing
you're
that you could then
right.
dip in like some tartar sauce or something.
Yeah.
I could see that being good.
What are they made out of? Does it say?
It doesn't say what they're made out of, no.
I'd be
But just plant-based
interested.
protein and omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
So maybe more research is required.
I guess so. Again, not something I would seek out.
Right.
But if I saw it
If we
someplace-
saw it, I
on
might be
sale.
inclined to pick it up and check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then staying in that vegan fish sort of area, Conscious Foods has a vegan seafood line, although we don't call seafood seafood. That's not vegan. They're sea creatures, they're sea animals, but they're not food. The new vegan sushi line, started by Yves Potvin, was developed in partnership with plant-based protein industry group Protein Industries Canada. The ingredients company Merit Foods and seaweed brand Canada Pacifico Seaweeds, all of which invested $15.3 million into this project.
Wow.
And with offerings such as California roll, spicy California roll, tuna avocado roll, and rainbow rolls, plus 2-piece onigiri products in options such as kale gome, Korean barbecue mushroom, roasted corn and poblano, and Japanese vegetable curry varieties. There's much to acclaim about this revolutionary line. Okay, so this is boxed sushi.
It looks that way, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's great, but I wouldn't buy it.
No, I think I'll stick to make our own.
Yeah.
I really like vegetable rolls. Mm-hmm. Give me some avocado, some cucumber, a little bit of cabbage, or, just carrot, celery, watercress, and just roll it up in some rice and seaweed, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, now that it's getting warmer, I would like to make sushi again.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. But, I don't feel the need to have a fish substitute.
I don't either.
Sushi.
Yeah, the vegan fish substitutes really don't entice me. No. But I'm sure there's people out there that would like this.
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And, for those who would, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, my sister gave us each oat milk chocolate bunnies.
Yes.
And they were delicious.
They were delicious.
I almost ate all of mine. Sam finished hers, I think.
ate part of mine yesterday and the other half today.
Yeah. And my nephew said his is gone also.
Yeah.
And they weren't small. So
no, but they were very tasty.
They were good.
So Lovo Swiss Milk Chocolate, recently launched by couple Simon Lester and Courtney Vuchnik. The brand reimagines chocolate by replacing dairy with plant milk using Swiss chocolate making techniques. Switzerland is widely known as the birthplace of milk chocolate, and these bars come in 4 different plant milk varieties that offer a creamy, familiar consistency to the milk chocolate bars we grew up on.
I would try that.
Oh,
for
totally.
Sure.
Absolutely. There's really not a vegan chocolate that I wouldn't try.
Yeah, I like the vegan milk chocolates. The Trader Joe's one is really good. The oat bars.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It's really good. This is true.
The next thing on this list is meaty whole cut steak and chicken. And they look kind of scary to me. Mycelium company Meaty Foods has developed a way to make whole-cut vegan chicken and steak from mushroom roots. And the mycelium used to make the whole-cut vegan proteins is grown inside fermentation tanks and then combined with high-protein fibers, which resemble the texture of chicken breasts and steaks, along with the proprietary mix of spices. Ooh, secret spices, to form a vegan steak or chicken cut that is unbelievably realistic, and the public is hungry for mushroom meat. When Meaty launched its whole cuts in 2022 for national delivery through its website, they sold out in mere hours. I've never even heard of this brand, but apparently
neither have I.
It's a popular brand. And they do look eerily realistic.
They do. I mean, and honestly, like looking at it, it's not something I would want to eat.
It's kind of a turn off.
It is.
It's too realistic.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal to me. But yeah, it does not look appetizing to me at all. Again, I'm sure there's a huge market out there for this. And
yeah,
more power to those of you who are going to get out there and go after it.
But yeah, I mean, some of the food technology that's creating some of these mock meats, it's so scary. Like the Trader Joe's now has that Korean bulgogi.
Yeah.
And I've heard many people say that it is so much like real meat that it's almost a turnoff.
Right.
That it's really delicious, but the texture and the flavor is so spot on that it's like eating meat.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of vegans, when they eat a meat alternative, expect it to be not quite meat, Right. So when it really hits the mark, it's almost too much.
Almost off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Now, this is one that I find interesting. So the next one, number 9, is Melody Foods plant-based honey. Now, I love honey in my tea. I think honey is a great thing. And obviously, we no longer use honey because it's not vegan. But makers of bee-free honey Melly Bio launched Melody, the world's first plant-based honey brand that manages to capture the exact same flavor as bee honey without the bees. The brand uses the same botanicals that are used to create honey from bees and manages to replicate the same thick, viscous texture of honey. And per VegNews, they will be ready to swirl this sweet nectar into hot tea or drizzle onto scones as soon as it hits store shelves. So apparently it is not available yet, but it is coming soon.
Again, I think I would try that.
I would too. Yeah, because I do miss honey in my tea.
Yeah, if it really tastes like honey, I would try that.
Yep, for sure.
If it's just sweet, then, whatever. I can use maple syrup
or
agave.
Yeah.
Number 10 on the list is what looks like a vegan Lunchable called Mighty Yum. Mighty Yum vegan Lunchables. Kid-friendly vegan Lunchable-style meals have finally arrived. Mighty Yum, a new brand founded by Mark Elkman and Howard Paynes, two health and wellness industry veterans and dads who wanted to help their kids eat better, arrived on the scene just last year, but has already made a splash. Ready to assemble vegan turkey and cheese, pepperoni pizza, and ham and cheese style meals are about to revolutionize lunchtime. I could see adults eating those too.
I could too.
Yeah.
Actually, there's always something to be said for convenience.
Yeah.
For
a quick snack.
Absolutely.
Toss it in your
quick
bag.
snack, quick lunch, easily portable. Yeah, I can see those.
Yeah. And there
doing well.
wasn't another company that was making a vegan Lunchable, but I think they stopped making them.
Oh, really?
So I'm sure the market is wide open for this.
Now, product number 11 on this list is from OmniFoods, and it is OmniFoods Bao Buns. So Hong Kong's OmniFoods wants to give our global food system a healthy overhaul by creating tasty plant-based versions of the world's most consumed animal products, such as pork and seafood. And when they debuted 2 new steamed buns at this year's Expo West, we were happily on board. Again, that's VegNews was on board, not Christine and I. We unfortunately were not at Expo West, though it sounds like it was a rockin' good time.
Yep.
So fluffy gochujang and teriyaki flavored pork stuffed buns are about to become our favorite ready-made late night snack.
Yeah, the gochujang buns, they look good.
They do look good. I'm sure that if we ran into these, we would try them.
I would try them. I want a steamed bun.
Okay. Yes.
Steamed bun sounds good to me.
All right.
I like my buns steamed.
Well, that's just another conversation entirely. Yeah.
Number 12 on the list is, what is it? Pockets chocolate oat milk chocolate almonds. So these are like chocolate covered almonds, and they come in different flavors. They have a mocha, a mango yuzu,
That mango yuzu looks really interesting.
and a Vietnamese coffee.
Yes. Also a black sesame and a matcha.
Yeah, and it says here that the VegNews editors literally couldn't stop snacking on these oat milk chocolate-covered almonds inspired by Asian flavors. Black sesame, matcha, yuzu, Vietnamese coffee. They were obsessed with every smooth milk chocolate-covered bite. And with 5 grams of sugar or less, plus real fruit, coffee, and matcha used in each flavor, this AAPI and women-owned brand is satisfying our sweets craving healthfully.
I would totally go for those.
Those are fun.
Yes. So I really hope that we come across Pockets Chocolates, oat milk chocolate almonds sometime in the future because they look really tasty.
Yeah, so they're
I would be into that.
coffee nuts, choco nuts. Yeah, so that's just some of the new
Stuff that's coming out.
stuff. If you want to see more of the new stuff that's coming out, I would highly recommend checking out the Vegan Zombies last few videos where he was at the expo there in LA, and he just stopped. I mean, it looked like there had to be like 200 booths
Cool.
there. It was a big
deal.
Yeah, it was a big expo. And so he got to try a lot of it. And so if you want to check that out, that'd be a good place to see some of the other new things that are coming out this year.
Absolutely.
That brings us to one of our 72 reasons to be vegan. Reasons to be vegan.
I do have one of the 72 reasons to be vegan.
All right, hit me.
And just for reference, of course, these are not my reasons. These are the reasons of Gene Stone and Kathy Freston coming from their lovely book, 72 Reasons to be Vegan, Why Plant-Based, Why Now? And so today we're going really straightforward. This is reason number 24. The numbers don't lie. It's time for pure data. Nothing touchy-feely. No more, a physicist with degrees from Yale University and the University of Pennsylvania has worked with the U.S. Public Interest Research Group and EarthSave International on researching the specific impact of eating meat, dairy, and eggs on global warming. He has taken into consideration what animals are fed, in what manner they are raised and slaughtered, and how their carcasses and byproducts are transported. He's gathered statistics on how the average American eats on a daily basis, and he's woven into consideration the effects of importing and exporting everything to do with livestock when it applies to the number of animals killed. Without further ado, if every American went vegan for just one day, the United States would save 90 billion gallons of water, enough to supply all American homes for a week. 2.8 million acres of land, which could be returned to its natural state of wilderness, such as forests and prairies. The fossil fuels equivalent to 78 million gallons of gas. If every American went vegan for just one day, the United States would prevent greenhouse gas emissions equivalent to 1.2 million tons of CO2, 4.75 million tons of animal excrement, a major source of water and air pollution, more produced by the entire American population in 4 months. One American going vegan for good would save the United States 180,000 gallons of water each year. That's 500 gallons a day. 1,400 pounds of plant food otherwise fed to livestock each year. That's 4 pounds each day, which could feed the hungry and poor. The fossil fuels equivalent of 87 gallons of gas each year. More than 3 acres of land a year. That is, when you add up all the math, every extra day a person goes vegan each year theoretically saves another 375 square feet of wilderness. Greenhouse gas emissions equivalent to 1.6 tons of CO2 per year. That's 9 pounds every day. More than 5 tons of animal excrement each year. That's 29 pounds each day. 1/10 of a pound of antibiotics each year. That's 128 milligrams per day, or like taking a typical dose every other day. So sit with the numbers a while. Take out your calculator if it helps, and if you're interested in more global numbers, check out faunalytics.org. Then bask in your power to affect change. By the way, you could save 16,000 animals during your lifetime by going vegan.
Thanks for that reason to be vegan.
You're very welcome.
Ooh, we're coming up on your favorite segment.
Is it listener shout out time?
That's right. It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
Do love me a listener shout out. And I particularly love this week's listener shout out. This week, we are shouting out a relatively new member of the podcast family, and her name is Jacqueline Ware. Jackie is a recording artist, a vocalist, vocal coach, actress, and music therapist in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's a vegan, and she has just recently become a supporter of the podcast. So thank you, Jackie.
Yep. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for listening.
And, of course, send Christine a DM with your T-shirt size and your address, and we will send a swag bag your way.
We will. And yeah, you can either DM us on Instagram, Compassion and Cucumbers, or you can shoot us an email at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com.
Those would be the ways.
We've reached our housekeeping section.
That we have.
Yeah. And hey, I got something new here.
Really?
Yeah, we want to try your favorite vegan recipes, and I would actually like to start a new segment called Listener Recipes.
Awesome.
So email or DM us vegan meals that you love to make at home. Send us the recipe if you think we should try them, and we'll definitely try them and highlight your recipe on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I love that idea.
I would love to try some of the things that people are making at home.
For sure.
If you've come up with a recipe, even if it's a recipe that you found online or something that you think that we should try and talk about, go on and send those along.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always use inspiration. Of course, we are currently running a fundraiser for Food Not Bombs. And if you would like to contribute to that fundraiser, you can do so at our Buy Me a Coffee page. That's www.buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers. And every $5 cup of coffee that you buy goes straight to the Buffalo chapter of Food Not Bombs. For those of you who don't know, Food Not Bombs is a wonderful organization that gives vegan meals to those suffering from food insecurity.
And follow Sam's Etsy site, Cucumber Craftworks on Etsy.
That's me.
Yeah, take a look at her knit scarves, handmade jewelry, and bead art, and it's all vegan and all made with love.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm working on some new projects right now, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course, we want to hear from you. So go ahead and email or DM us show ideas, cookbook recommendations, recipes you love, or subjects you'd like us to touch on in future episodes.
And subscribe to our YouTube. I'm working on some cooking videos, and I don't know if you heard last week's episode, but I told you the saga of my cooktop. Well, the cooktop finally came just today.
Sure did.
And it seems to be functioning.
Nice.
So we may be well on our way to a video, possibly by the end of this week.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, so subscribe to our YouTube and click the bell, and you'll get a notification when I post that video.
Sounds awesome. Would you like to get a listener shout out like Jackie did today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Send us a DM or an email letting us know that you listen and tell us a little bit about yourselves. We'd be happy to shout you out and send some swag your way.
If you want to support the podcast, you can join our Patreon. We're adding our recipes up there for our patrons, and we'll be adding some fun behind-the-scene videos. The link's always in the show notes if you want to join the community there.
Also, it's usually Christine that asks for this, but it's fallen to me this week. So If you can, please leave us a review on your podcast app if it allows. Many podcast apps, even if they don't allow you to leave a review, they do allow you to rate the podcast that you listen to.
Oh, really?
Yes, so I've heard.
Oh.
Yeah, Little Bird told me that, there's sometimes this little row of shapes.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's usually 5 of them, and if you like something, you fill in the number of shapes, like how you would
that seems
rate it.
Really easy.
Yeah, it does. Super simple. And so if you'd like to fill in all 5 of those little shapes, which I believe are stars.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That would be amazing.
Send me an email and let me know if you're sick of hearing us talk about giving us 5 stars. Share the show with a friend or a family member that you think would enjoy what we do. And share our social media posts. It's the easiest way you can support us or any creator for that matter, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
And last but not least, we will always remind you to join the AFA Vegan Voter Hub if you have not done so already. The Agriculture Fairness Alliance and their representatives are in Washington as we speak, doing the great work of representing our vegan interests to politicians. And we want to give them the support that we can coming up to the vote on the new Farm Bill in September.
Absolutely. And with that, we wrap up episode 82 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. So we bid you adieu.
Yes, we do. I mean, did you get any suggestions for a wrap up?
No, not yet.
No? Andy didn't send you something?
No. So until then, you're just going to have to put up with our feeble attempts at wrapping up the podcast.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic week. We really appreciate you listening, and we'll be back at you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
The end.
Do you want to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast? Well, you can do that by joining our Patreon page. We have 3 different levels of support, and all 3 come with their own special bonuses. Hey, you can support the podcast and get yourself some really cool merch. All the links and deets are in the show notes. We'll catch you next week on the next episode of Compassion and Cucumbers.